Blake Production.
What is popping? We're looking at Bitcoin weekly time frame. Chart looks good. So much bullish news comes out today. We have official Senator Cynthia Loomis, who's extremely pro crypto. She's talking about how she's very excited to you know, push across and get a strategic Bitcoin reserve officially in place. I believe Trump signed an executive order that digital assets, there will be a reserve of digital assets in the US. I don't think they came out and specifically said we're going to have a strategic Bitcoin reserve yet. That's in the works with Cynthia Loomis, I believe. I think that's her name. David Sachs in the Oval Office with Donald Trump signing papers related to the crypto space. They're banning SAB 121, so banks can now hold Bitcoin. So much bullish news comes out today related to the space. Just yesterday, I think Russ Ulbricht got released, the founder of Silk Road. I think it's a bullish time, but it's interesting how we're getting rejections on this daily time frame. The chart looks like it has been struggling, right, since December to break over and hold 105. This is the level we want to close above this level, and then to kind of confirm that there's a potential continuation that's going to happen. We are yet to close above this level. We just can't do it since late December. I think that could kind of give a hint that maybe we're gonna chop around a little bit longer between, let's say, 100,000 and 110,000, or even potentially just chilling in this range for a little bit longer. Maybe we have a scenario where, again, just like previously, I mean, I don't think it's going to be 10 months. I do think the effects of the halving and the U.S. printing money, right? That is happening still. I think the effects of the halving are going to really kick in once there's a legitimate arms race for countries gathering Bitcoin. Right now, the rumors are digital asset reserve is happening. I think once you have like a major company straight up say, all right, this is our plan for a strategic Bitcoin reserve. It's X amount of Bitcoin every year for the X amount of years. Once a major company or a major country comes out and says that, it's going to be wild, I think. I think the rumor is that the US wants to gather 2 million Bitcoin over 4 or 5 years. That would be like 200,000 Bitcoin a year, or sorry, that'd be like 500,000 Bitcoin a year if it was 2 million over 4. Sorry, I'm tired. But if you think about that from like what would that do? It would be nuts. The cycles would be blown away. There would be no more cycles. It would just be one massive cycle. That's 10% of the float, pretty much. 10% of all Bitcoin owned by the US. And then what happens if China's like, oh yeah, we want in, and then we want to get an X amount, or whoever comes out and says it first. Right now, what's interesting is the market's stalling at this range with all this bullish news. It almost is like, it's almost like they want the market to dip so they can announce it and get Bitcoin at a better price. But then if I'm also thinking of it from that point of view, right? If the US is delaying their announcement of the specific plan for the strategic Bitcoin reserve, if I'm any other major country who wants a serious, leg in this race of acquiring Bitcoin, I want to announce that prior to the US, right? So that I can, or maybe you don't want to, maybe you want to accumulate it silently. Either way, like I think if you're accumulating on that big of a scale, you're going to create a massive supply shock on Bitcoin, right? Especially with, you know, the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges right now is pretty low. Hash rate to mine Bitcoin, highest it's ever been. There's a bunch of these bullish aspects, right? The chart setup looks great. You have that 10-month consolidation. You break out. We're creating some sort of a bull flag. We're just stalling in this range. Like, as you could see, right? This $105,000 zone, even from a weekly perspective, the $104,000 area, we have yet to close above it since the beginning of December. So until that could happen, I think we play around in this range a little bit longer. If you zoom in, could end up looking something like this for a little bit. Maybe mid-February we get the breakout, and we're chopping around like this for a little bit longer. It's very interesting. These are the technical analysis thoughts and like kind of what my brain's going through reading Twitter and trying to get a feel of the market. I do think we're in a really bullish place. I don't think there's going to be any more 70% crashes in Bitcoin. Hard to see that happening, especially if there's countries saying we're doing a strategic Bitcoin reserve. It could officially be a new era that, you know, this might end up looking something like, you know, let's look at the NASDAQ, right? Let's say the NASDAQ 100, right? Look at the NASDAQ over, like, what if this is what we're looking at? And that's something we should definitely think of. Look at this, right? From 2008 up until now, right? That's 20 years, call it 20 years almost. It just continuously rose. There was no extremely major bear market, really. 14% dip, 16% dip. I mean, COVID, right? COVID, 28% dip. That's nothing from what we've experienced, right? We've experienced full on 70% drawdown 2-year bear markets plus in Bitcoin. And I think at that point, like, we'll be laughing at that. There's still going to be people accumulating. It's all very interesting, is what I'm trying to say. I don't think it's the time to be bearish. Everything is kind of starting to add up here. So, one, congratulations on a hyper bullish crypto space. If you've been holding coins and, like, you know, if you've been holding assets, equities related to crypto, the past couple of years have been great, and it looks like the future is going to be super bright. So, cheers, guys. Hope this breakdown was somewhat insightful in terms of, you know, like how I've been thinking of this from a psychological perspective with some technicals. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.